What are we talking
So,
about?
first of all, I think we should talk about Donald Trump, the man who has just been convicted of 34 felonies. Yeah,
That's a lot,
I
man.
know. But it's basically
Yeah.
all coming off that one thing, all from that hush money payment.
How have they managed to get
I don't know,
34
it's
out of
probably
that?
like different things, like maybe like corporation fraud, tax fraud, electoral fraud, like all different types of things. I don't know. Stuff like that, all from one thing.
So what do you think of the
I
conviction?
think I don't like Trump, but it just seems like they're finding something to go after. Do you know what I mean? What do you think?
I think so too. I think he's a favor for the election because Biden is so incompetent, and especially his pro-Israeli stance. He's extremely unpopular. I mean, the
Trump
guy,
has the
you can
same
tell he's got
stance, though.
dementia.
That's the thing. But it is, I think Donald Trump, he is, Trump is definitely the favorite, I think, for the election. The thing is,
Trump has the same stance, but he's not like, because he's not been in a leadership role. People haven't. He's in the like. He doesn't get like
yeah,
put accountable because he's not the president. If it was the other way around, trust me, Trump would be also
yeah. But
funding
also,
this
I think
genocide. But
it's more so
you know,
because Trump's voters don't really care. Like most people who vote for the Democratic Party, a lot of them probably care about the issue and would want to side with Palestine. However, Republican voters are probably more likely to side with the conservatives. So for him, it doesn't make a difference if he's pro-Israel, probably.
but I think just Biden being pro-Israel, I think it affects him a lot. So
Yeah,
he's not
definitely.
popular at all. So a lot of people, what like the PBD guy, Patrick Bet Davidson, and I listened to their podcast. They were saying like they really like wanna basically make him unpopular as possible. Like he said that the narrative that they will be running with through this election campaign, convicted felon, and it was quite funny. They had a very interesting. So this used like after it when people tweet all the political opponents, they all use the word convicted felon, and when Trump gives a speech, right? And towards the end, the first woman that asked a question, she said, "Oh, why should people vote for a convicted felon?" So they're gonna be running. The word convicted felon is gonna be like
Yeah,
you
you
won't
know
hear
what the
the
thing is
end
though?
of it.
They've just cemented his place in the history books, like even more than it already was. There's been very few presidents in America, but there's only been one president who then also got convicted as a criminal. And if he wins the election, then the next president of the United States could be a convicted felon. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was I wanted to really ask you this question. I, I'll forget America. Everyone looking from outside,
Yeah,
what are they
it's
thinking?
crazy. This is what's so interesting about it. Like, if I was America, if I was like part of the system there, even if because the charge does seem quite trivial, like the hush money payment, I wouldn't do it, bro. I wouldn't convict him because he's not only is he an ex-president, he is also running for president again. So like, is it worth it? If he had, if he had made the money through his own, paid the money through his own account, I don't think he would have been convicted. But it's actually because he paid it through his corporation that he got convicted.
Hmm. But to be devil's advocate, people would say like whether he's going to be the president or no, no matter, like it doesn't matter. Law is the law. It was illegal.
It
What would you
is
say? What
true.
would you say
It's
to
a
that?
good point, but like it's a bit embarrassing for you.
If they're gonna play the crooked game and making like showing that America is the strongest country and we are like the superpower,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a good
It's
look.
kind of, to be fair, it does go like very well with the um freedom and the democracy stuff because like not only did we convict a former president, but also convicted president could become the next president. So even criminals can become presidents now, bro. It's crazy.
It can backfire. It can really, if Trump wins, right? Yeah, that narrative would like that would be crazy. That you can be a convicted felon, and can become president. Like people will look at. I don't know. People are already looking at America as very divided and not taking it as seriously. You see BRICS doing their own thing. Everyone's like, we don't want to be under your rule anymore. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
Things
think
are not
he's
looking
gonna.
good.
He's saying he's gonna appeal it, but like all the juries unanimously said he was guilty. So I don't know how he's gonna be successful in that. But if I was him, I wouldn't even appeal it, bro. You go down in the history books, you still get to be president, and you get remembered forever. But to be fair, it's not a good thing
The
to do.
first, yeah,
It's not a good
he's
thing
made
to be
history,
remembered
whether
for.
positive or not.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Another question that, not question, concern the right wing were, you know, maybe rightfully so concerned about that. If Trump is still gonna win, right? And he's still the favorite in the polls, and based on like the predictions from like, the not Republican, the Democrats, right? Like, like say they know like Trump is gonna win. PBD and those guys were saying that there could be a threat to Trump's life, like, and also Tucker Carlson, he said like Trump should increase his security, he should double it. So because they think that they're trying to do anything possible, like if they can stoop this low, how much lower can this go? Like, if he's gonna still win regardless of him being a convicted felon,
yeah. No, that's an
what if they
that's an
go
interesting
there? Like,
point, but I think one thing to consider is like how much is he actually against the system versus how much is he just against these like uh some particular people in powerful positions, like maybe a couple like powerful judges or something like that, because I don't think he's like a JFK type of figure who's really going against the system or is going to make like some crazy type of change. Like I don't know, I just don't see him as that type of guy. What is he doing that is so radically opposed to the American way of life or system for them to take that measure?
yeah, I mean, he's a bit like Imran Khan, where he's got this narrative of being anti-establishment, but then when it actually comes to doing things against like that, like taking proper real action where you making
Yeah,
systematic changes, right? I mean, it can also still cause disruption if your narrative, like let's say you're speaking against the establishment and things of that nature. But if there is no systematic action towards it, then you're right. Like, is he
yeah.
really
Like
in
he's not
danger?
really a
You
revolutionary,
know?
is he? I don't. Can
Yeah.
American presidents serve more than yeah, they can't even serve more than 2 terms. So even if he wins this election, after 4 years he'll be gone. Unless their concern is that he's gonna like turn America into an authoritarian state, and that's why they need to get rid of him before he tries to take over as a dictator. But I don't is that
Mm,
possible? Who knows?
I don't know what the. I think the Democrats are also very afraid of being also becoming convicted felon after Trump becomes in charge. I think they're more afraid of getting because
Yeah.
because they tormented Trump, right? While they've been in power. And by the way, Trump did the same thing. People forget that Trump was no angel. When he was in power, the amount of abuse he gave to the opposing side, he made a new trend of like populism and toxicity where the more brash you are, the more insulting you are, you know. So I don't know, man. It's you ask a very good question. What do you
Um
think?
I don't know either. I don't think like what was his last term really that different compared to prior presidents? Like, of course, people will say he was a bad person, he was racist, and all of that stuff. But was it so radically or like revolutionary that it would cause people to go to such extreme measures? I don't really think. I don't really think it was.
I mean, they, when Was there a vote
Yeah, he
of
was
no confidence
impeached.
against him?
Yeah.
Wa- And then people went to that
The
what's that
capital.
building called?
The cap. What
When
was
they,
it? It is
yeah, yeah,
called. No, what was it called? Capitol building. I
something
feel like
capital,
that's
right?
from a film or something.
But anyways, when they basically was like
Yeah.
almost an attack on democracy. So I don't know. They might see him as a just a threat to
Yeah.
democracy.
Maybe. I think that could be the case, but then I don't see why these conservatives would support him in that case.
And also, their approach doesn't seem
Yeah.
democratic either. In my
Yeah.
book,
Exactly. It'll be really,
I don't
it'll
know.
be interesting to see what happens. But I think he's definitely still the favorite for the election. Um, but one other interesting thing is, I wonder why he paid that hush money because there's been so many controversies about him. I don't see why that one thing would have derailed his election campaign so much.
That's a
Like
very
he,
good
bro, the
question.
thing came out about those voice recordings around the same time came out about him saying they grabbed them by the yeah.
Yeah,
So
the people.
why
Yeah,
why is this the thing
yeah.
where he was like, oh, I've got to draw the line there? Because like, bro, he said such vulgar, such racist things, and that's I don't know. It's
Yeah, he got away with all of it, and now he's becoming a convicted felon. He wasn't even in power. Everyone
yeah,
counted him out back then. Everyone did. No one expected
yeah.
Trump to win.
It's interesting. Do you? He it's interesting because him and Imran Khan's like political rise is almost at the same time. Do you think the world is going more towards like populist leaders like that?
I think so. I think also with the rise of social media, I think it doesn't matter how much work you do. I think what matters is how much
Yeah,
you
it's
speak
all
about what
about
you're gonna do.
marketing.
Yeah. It's all about marketing. It's
Yeah,
all about narratives. Yeah, I think Trump's just got the narrative. Like he wanted to end Obamacare. I don't think if that was a good decision. No one's speaking
yeah,
about that. You should be outraged. If you're anyone free health, if someone's against free healthcare, you seriously need to
yeah,
question those people. Even within UK, like privatizing NHS, like how many poor people are
yeah.
gonna suffer
It
from that?
is crazy. I think
Yeah,
I think those things about privatizing NHS. I don't know how much weight really was behind that. I don't know if it was actually happening or it was just like theories behind people. But that would be such a horrible thing to do. I don't know how any party who does that would then get into power ever again.
this is what I didn't understand with Trump. Like in UK, right? Like we would be like
Yeah.
that would be an absurd thing, where Trump was actively trying to
Yeah,
dismantle
I
that.
think it's because
And I think that's where a lot of the resentment came from
yeah,
the
I think it's because
Democrats
people saw a lot of
as well.
problems with the Obamacare thing, like uh, the way it was set up and everything, and also with America, they don't really like in the UK we have like quite a lot of socialist policies. In America, they don't. They want to be like this all big capitalist country. Everyone's out for themselves, basically. So it makes more sense. Where in the UK, we've been used to the NHS for like so many decades now that anyone who tries to get rid of that would be like a villain, real life villain.
Yeah. What do you think is future of America? Do you think it's gonna remain United States, united, or do you think it's the collapse of an
It could
empire?
be. It could be. It could be.
Because
I think people have said this about America a lot of times throughout its history that oh it's going to collapse now. This is it. But it I don't know. I feel like more so than ever before, this seems like America is in a bit of a weird state because now you've got these BRICS nations separating from them. You've got countries that are not using the dollar anymore. You've got what's going on with Israel and Palestine, where now Arab countries are going against America, European countries are going against their stance, and there's just so much uncertainty in their economy as well that it could possibly be, but again, it is unlikely. But I feel like it's more likely than it has ever been before. Thanks for listening, everyone, and let's hope for better times and an end to the war very soon.
Inshallah. Take
Okay.
care.